have splendid weather conditions. You already saw the blue skies with the flyover. And it's 58 degrees, not much wind as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Dick, well, you guys just talked about the Vikings wanting to get that swagger back. I talked to Sam Bradford during warm-ups, and I asked him, what was the message from Mike Zimmer in the midst of this 3-game losing skid? He said, Coach told him this week we are still the same team that started the season 5-0. Nothing has changed in this locker room. They just want to come out and play with confidence. As for the Redskins, Jay Gruden, in the midst of the team wanting to get back in the win column, said we are still in a position to strike in the division, and everything we want is still within reach. Back to you, Dick.
They're right about all of that. The Redskins have won the toss and they deferred, so the Vikings will get the ball first. And so it'll be very interesting as Pat Shurmur, who took over for Norv Turner, who resigned as offensive coordinator. We're actually going to see his game plan for the first time fully.
Yeah, and what you'll see is the subtle differences. And one is getting rid of the ball quickly. The other thing you'll see is they try to get the ball into their athletes' hands so they can do their work in space. That's Cordero Patterson, Jarius Wright. That's whoever it is that's playing wide receiver. Get it in space and let them do their work.
Dustin Hopkins will get the game underway. Cordero Patterson will see it fly out of the end zone. And the Minnesota Vikings will take it out on the 25-yard line. And Sam Bradford, and boy, he would love to get better protection than he's gotten. And those were his numbers in the loss last week. Not bad, which shows you that it's not all Sam Bradford.
Yeah, so let's look how they're going to try to better protect him. One is getting rid of the ball quick, which we just touched on. Now you'll see a lot of 7- and 6-man protections to help the offensive tackles who are still learning how to play this position.
First play from scrimmage. Bradford with the short drop, and he completes the pass to Rhett Ellison, the tight end. And Ellison brings it out to the 35-yard line. Let's take a look at the Viking offense and thought about the running back by committee. No committee today, at least that's the plan. Jerick McKinnon will start and play the bulk of the game in that slot.
Yeah, and he should, because when he's healthy, which he wasn't really healthy last week, but when he's on, he's a pretty explosive football player.
Kind of guy you're talking about with Patterson and McKinnon. Get the ball in the hands of the athletes.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 4. And the pitch to McKinnon, trying to find running room, and he can't. And the Redskins are there, and it'll be a loss on the play. Mason Foster, one of the inside backers, there to make the play. Ryan Kerrigan, 7 sacks. He's the guy that the Vikings have to be worried about.
Absolutely, and also a guy that made a nice play there, Dick, is Dookie Anacho. When you're a 3-4 defense and you have that safety in the box, he's a strong run support player responsible for contain. He came up and blew that play up, allowing the pursuit from the backside to come and get it.
Chris, they lost 2, so Matt Asiata comes in at running back on 3rd down and 6. Bradford gets a little time, and the pass incomplete. Tried to get it to Kyle Rudolph, but Bashaud Breeland was covering, and there was pressure on the quarterback Bradford as he let go of the ball. So it's 4th down, and the Vikings will kick.
Interesting strategy by Joe Barry. Kyle Rudolph in that 3rd and medium range is a big target. So what does he do? He plays the percentages. He puts a corner Breeland on Rudolph. Interesting.
You like this guy, Jamison Crowder?
I think he's a really underrated player, and he's a very difficult matchup, not only in a return game, but when he plays slot receiver.
Jeff Locke will punt, and Crowder comes in as the top punt returner in the NFL. Kicked over to the sideline, and here is Crowder at the 31, and the Vikings with terrific coverage downfield. Leading the way is Kentrell Brothers, the rookie from Missouri. So we'll get our first look at Kirk Cousins, who's really had a good year. In fact, those are career highs in the game against the Bengals in London 2 weeks ago.
I had this Washington Redskin team versus the Lions, and watching Kirk, the one thing he's getting better than he was in the past, he's not making that silly throw or that indecisive decision. And look for him to use his feet a little bit, because he's a better athlete than a lot of people give him credit for.
Oh, he piles up the yardage. There's no question about that. They've got to do better in the red zone for sure. And he'll go to the air on first down, and his pass will be complete to Pierre Garçon. Ever reliable Garçon picks up a Redskin first down at the 44-yard line. Let's take a look at the Redskins, and this is the key move. Ty Nsekhe, the huge left tackle, taking the place of Trent Williams, their best lineman, who's on a 4-game suspension. And so we're gonna watch that spot with plenty of time. Cousins, and this pass bobbled. Was it a catch? And it was, to Jordan Reed. What a weapon Jordan Reed is.
Well, it's a nightmare matchup for everybody because Jordan Reed is a big body with wide receiver skills, and right there he won his individual battle with Sendejo, number 34. Now that's the problem with the Redskins offense if you're the defense. Right there, because of Reed, because of Davis, because of Crowder, and Kirk Cousins spreads the ball to all those guys, you don't know who to isolate on.
25-yard gain and a lot of time for Cousins. He's had that all year. And here's the first carry by Robert Kelly, the rookie from Tulane, undrafted, making his second consecutive start. And he carried the ball a lot. Let's take a look at the Minnesota defense. Eric Kendricks is back, and that's good news for the Vikings.
Well, Eric is a playmaker, and they missed him last week, and I'll tell you where he's especially effective. He's outstanding against the run, but he's pretty special at that position as a linebacker because he can match up if you need him to on those big body tight ends.
Second down and 6. And on the run, Jamison Crowder. And so the Redskins are getting the ball in their athletes' hands as well. Jamison Crowder picking up 7 yards on first down.
Well, why not? I mean, he's dangerous in the return game. When we talked to Jay Gruden on Friday about Jamison Crowder, and he agreed with me that he is really underrated, especially getting the ball in space and trusting that your goods are better than their goods in space.
So a first down at the 20-yard line, and this is where the Redskins have stumbled, 30th in the NFL in the red zone. Cousins going deep, and the pass is overthrown, intended for Reed, bringing up second down and 10. And I sense a little up-tempo by the Redskins attack thus far.
Well, when you have a team that's known for their pass rush, the Redskins will go up-tempo, especially on second and third down, and Kirk Cousins told us the reasons why. One is it slows down that pass rush. One reason that I would put in there, it also forces a defense to declare its coverage.
So on second and 10, enter Chris Thompson, the reliable third down back, number 25 for Washington. In motion goes Ryan Grant. Terrence Newman, by the way, is the slot back, and the handoff is to Thompson. And Thompson with a good run going off the right side. And Kendricks finally brings him down just short of another first down for the Redskins.
Well, I watched film on this kid, and I tell you, he is another weapon. Not only 27 catches out of the backfield, but the ability to see and be patient and accelerate through holes and running through people right there, running through Anthony Barr and Harrison Smith to get extra yards after contact.
How about the block by Brandon Sheriff, the right guard? So the Redskins are marching, third down and 1. Kelly is back in at running back, tight formation for the Redskins. Kelly will carry and get the first down inside the 10 before he runs into Xavier Rhodes. An impressive drive by the Washington Redskins on their first possession, but the question always is with them, can they finish the job?
You look at the Redskins offense, Dick, and the one thing we talk about, right, like Davis and Reed and Crowder, but if they get this running game going, I mean, it is going to be very difficult not only for the Vikings defense to stop, but any future opponents if they become super balanced.
So this is the 8th play of the drive, and it is first and goal. They go again to Kelly, forward motion, drives up the middle, and gets inside the 5-yard line. Shamar Stephen makes the tackle, and a pickup of 3.
Second down is a big pass down in red zones. And now, watch Jordan Reed. He's a terrific athlete, and if they have him spread out, he is the #1 target that if I were the Lions that I would be concerned with. Right now he's on the line tight.
But they spread everyone else out. They have 3 wide receivers. Second and goal Here's Cousins looking one way, gets hit and forced that ball. And there were two Vikings right at the goal line. First of all, Linval Joseph put on good pressure, and it looks like there's another Viking shaken up here. And a timeout here, and it's going to be Barr, Anthony Barr, the linebacker, and Kendricks as well. Two key linebackers hurt right now for the Vikings. We'll be right back.
So can I redeem my Rapid Rewards points at any time?
In the high, that's transparency.
It is 3rd down and goal at the 4-yard line. Cousins gets pressure, and this pass is caught for the touchdown by Crowder. Right at the goal line, Jamison Crowder on the low throw made the play, and the Redskins, and of course they review the scoring play as usual. Signal was a touchdown.
A great catch by Crowder, and actually some people would think that's a poorly thrown ball, but it's low. Let's see if he's down. Yeah, he crosses the front of the goal line. Now, that's the matchup they'll try to exploit. You had Harrison Smith on Crowder. Harrison Smith's a really good player, but if you list Harrison Smith's strengths, man coverage would not be at the top of that list. And we talked about what a matchup nightmare Crowder is for anybody.
And the Vikings had to figure that coming in after what he has done. 2 straight 100-yard games and his 5th touchdown catch. And now Dustin Hopkins trying to kick the extra point to give the Redskins a 7-0 lead. Very impressive 10-play 68-yard drive, and they don't even snap the ball. And penalty maybe against the Vikings. Joseph was right in the middle of that fall over pile by everybody. A lot of weapons for the Redskins. Very diverse offense, and they showed why in this 10-play 68-yard drive, Chris.
And that's why if they get that running game going, really, there will be one of the most difficult offenses to defend in the NFL.
Offside. Defense, number 92, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Well, it was Joseph, number 98. And so they will re-kick. Of course, Dustin Hopkins, who had a chance to give Jay Gruden the win in London. Timeout called after what looked like a successful field goal, or before actually, and then he missed. And the game ended up a tie between the Bengals and the Redskins 2 weeks ago. Here is the extra point. It's perfect. And on their first possession, the Redskins on the pass from Cousins. Good catch by Crowder. He's been doing it all year. 7-0 Washington.
Today we're going to be comparing these two.
Sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
Well, a perfect start for the Redskins, 3 and out on defense, and then they go 68 yards for the touchdown. And the big play, of course, was the 25-yard pass from Cousins to Reed.
We talked about success and confidence and swagger. How do you answer? And that's the question facing the Vikings offense this drive.
And that's why Mike Zimmer said getting off to a fast start. Well, that's a cliche. Everyone does. But after what the Vikings have gone through, it's really underscored more today.
Well, they have to get it balanced, and there's a lack of a running game. We're talking about a team that's averaging 2.7 yards per rush. It's not very good. So you just not panic, trust what you do, stay with your game plan, and trust in that guy right there, Pat Sherman. He's the new offensive coordinator.
As reported as
Nick Easton, number 62, is an extra offensive lineman. That may be one way in which they can give Bradford some protection and get maybe the running game going. And they start out with Jerick McKinnon. And McKinnon gets about 3.5 yards on first down. Well, this was a team that was 5-0 at one point. And you can look at the numbers and see how they have dropped. They've allowed more sacks, scored less points, and their red zone has dropped dramatically.
Yeah, you see that's the big one right there. 30% in the red zone in their 3-game losing streak.
They flip it out to McKinnon on 2nd and 6. He'll have the first down. Using his speed, Foster making the tackle. So McKinnon in his third year inactive against the Bears. He said he wasn't 100% healthy last week. They're going with him today.
Well, I think he's a weapon, especially if you look at today's NFL. It's all about matchups, right? McKinnon on Foster. The Vikings will take that all day, and they'll look to exploit it like they did on that last play.
With Adrian Peterson out till December, hopefully they had to rely on other people. Ronnie Hillman has come in. He played well last week, but playing well on this particular play, making a terrific defensive play is Sua Cravens, who was impressive in the Redskins' last game, the rookie from USC.
So Stephon Diggs is known as a pretty good pass catcher, a route runner, big play guy. The one thing he is not is a blocker. You see that? He had to try to come back right there, number 14 in your picture, and he misses his block, which causes this play to be blown up. And that's on Stephon Diggs. And that's the thing, Dick, we talked about. Execution brings success.
Lost 6 yards, so it's now 2nd down and 16. Hillman remains at running back, and Bradford gets time, goes underneath and completes the pass to Kyle Rudolph. Rudolph stays on his feet and winds up in Redskin territory, and a 1st down. Big play by those two and the run after the catch. Let's go to a game break in LA and join Carissa Thompson.
Thank you. Green Bay at Tennessee. First drive of the game. Marcus Mariota hands it off to the 2nd leading rusher in the league. That is DeMarco Murray. Packers give up 75 yards a game rushing. Well, that was a 75-yard run. Titans up early.
And up early with the Redskins, there's a penalty back down at the line of scrimmage.
Number
Holding.
61 offense. 10-yard penalty remains 1st down.
Holding will be called against the center, Joe Berger, after this solid run by Hillman, and that'll nullify all of that.
Self-inflicted wounds. Again, when you get something going, you have rhythm. Then you make these mental errors. Now, holding can be called on a lot of plays, but it can't be that obvious. And Joe had a good handful of jersey on that particular play.
So they gained 21 on the pass and run by Rudolph. 16 eliminated by this penalty. So now 1st and 20 back on the Vikings 45. And a handoff to McKinnon, looking for running room, and doesn't get much. Maybe a yard. Of course, Pat Shurmur, as you know, had worked with Sam Bradford when Bradford broke in with the St. Louis Rams, and of course last year with the Philadelphia Eagles as well. So the two worked well and know each other well. Patterson going in motion from behind, and he gets the swing pass, but the Redskins hit him once, they hit him again, and they stop him shy of midfield, bringing up 3rd and very long. And it was Duke Iheanacho, the safety, once again. Solid play by Washington.
Well, this is what the Vikings are trying to do, right? Get rid of the ball, protect your offensive line, get the ball in your playmaker's hands. Watch Iheanacho. Wham! That's beautiful, Dick. Didn't go to his feet on contact. Stayed high, hit with his eyes, wrapped him up, and took Cordero Patterson out. That's the way to tackle.
It's physical defense.
Well, it's beautiful, but it's just nice to see a defensive back wrap somebody up and tackle and come with bad intentions.
Drives you nuts when they don't. 3rd down and 15. Asiata in and in to block. Bradford gets time, trying to run away, but he can't run away from everybody. And Preston Smith finally brings him down. And I have to tell you, this is an inspired early 1st quarter by the Redskins on both sides of the ball. And 4th down coming up. And Minnesota will have to kick.
And Dick, he's got time right here. The protection's pretty good. He's got to step up into that pocket. And the problem is, when he did step up into the pocket, nobody was open downfield. And the other thing, he made a little rookie mistake. He took his eyes and dropped them instead of keeping them downfield.
Well, you watch those eyes pretty well. Jeff Locke, and a fair catch. Crowder inside the 10. So Locke with a brilliant punt, and Kirk Cousins, who already has a touchdown pass to his credit. Redskins lead. They have the ball. We'll be right back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Cadillac. By Burger King. Now get 3 large pancakes for only 89 cents, only at Burger King. And by PlayStation.
Hope those guys are watching the game. Anyway, back in, Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr, who are both shaken up, colliding with each other. Last time the Vikings were on defense. Here's Robert Kelly. And Kelly gets a couple of yards on first down. Redskins starting on their 9-yard line. This is where the Viking defense, leading the league in points allowed, can really make a mark to change momentum, perhaps.
And also help their offense by field position, forcing a 3-and-out in this particular series. They need something to go their way. They need to create their own success. That's been preached up in Minnesota all week. How do you get success? Well, execute and get your confidence and try to set your offense up and help your offense by forcing a 3-and-out.
Redskins have Chris Thompson in there in the backfield. 2nd down and 8 inside the 5. Cousins pass, and it's going to be caught by Vernon Davis. 11-year veteran. Boy, he can still do it, partner.
It looks like he's in his 3rd year. And the biggest problem the Redskins present to any team that they play is 2 tight ends with the big bodies that can run. And when safeties can't handle a tight end on a speed out route, that's difficult. You see Kendricks right there walking off.
Kendricks missed the Detroit game with a concussion. And coming out of the game, a very key operative in the defensive unit for the Minnesota Vikings. And so Kendricks is out, and they won't replace him with a backer. Terrence Newman is in as the nickel back after the 13-yard completion to Davis. So Waynes and Rhodes are the corners, and Newman is the nickel. It'll be a 1st down from the 24. Fake a pitch, and the pass is going to be caught by Vernon Davis. They go back to Davis, the former 49er. Yes, 2 tight ends. Very tough to defend, and we have a Washington player shaken up. It'll be a 1st down at the 39 now after the pickup of 15.
Well, Dick, it's clear what they're doing. As Vernon Davis is injured, they're using the play action, and they're using everybody, and that's very difficult to defend.
When I was a kid, I wanted to touch.
Davis sprinted off the field. He's all right now. It's 7-0 the score, and there you see a brilliant career for Davis. Tight ends for the Redskins today have caught 3 passes for 53 yards already. 1st down at the 39. Cousins on the slant, completes the pass, and Pierre Garçon, ever reliable Garçon, may be short of a 1st down by a yard.
Well, I think that's an unspoken communication between Cousins and Garçon. When you have a corner playing off, he just rises and throws. Watch this. You have a corner playing off a little bit, he just rises and throws, and that's a matchup that they like, and there's no disruption of the route off the line of scrimmage, and that's just easy pitch and catch between quarterback and receiver.
Working on Trey Waynes there. Meanwhile, Vernon Davis has checked back in the game. Here's Robert Kelly, and Kelly will have the 1st down. Linval Joseph right in the middle, 1st down midfield.
Well, again, Linval Joseph is the key to this defense, and 20+ receptions by these different guys. It makes them so difficult to defend, Dick. And the other thing, I can't emphasize this enough. Kirk Cousins doesn't worry about, this guy's not happy that I'm getting enough passes. This guy's not happy I'm getting enough passes. His mindset is, I go to where the read takes me, and he's been doing a pretty good job of it so far this season and today.
I think winning is the name of the game, I believe. Here's Kelly again with a sharp acceleration off the right side. He picks up 2.5 yards as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Eric Kendricks is currently doubtful to return. They've been looking at his left hip. That's why he initially came off the field after he was shaken up, went back to the locker room. He still remains on the sideline, but he is experiencing some discomfort, keeps pointing to it and stretching it out. But again, he's doubtful to return.
All right, Christina, thank you. And Adi Cole, who started the game against the Lions with Kendricks out, number 57, is in the lineup now.
Well, they're also going nickel now, which means 5 defensive backs might make them a little more vulnerable to the run.
And play action. And on the screen pass, here is Thompson, Chris Thompson, and he is tackled. That's going to bring up 3rd down and long. Redskins are in Viking territory. Chad Greenway was in on the play, and that should be the last play of the first quarter. A fast-moving first quarter indeed, and one that the Redskins put the foot on the pedal quicker than Mike Zimmer's team. That is the end of the first quarter.
This is the end
Here in Landover, Maryland, at FedEx Field, with the Redskins leading the Vikings 7-0. For the Redskins at the 46 of the Vikings. Cousins, and the pass is caught for the first down inside the 40 by Maurice Harris. Harris's first catch of the season here.
This is a nice job of Maurice Harris getting upfield, getting Trey Wayne's shoulder turned and out of his back pedal, which puts him in better position to make that outcut. The other part of the execution, that ball was thrown before Harris was out of his cut. And as soon as his head turned around, bam, the ball's right on target and right on time.
Undrafted rookie out of Cal, been used mostly as a blocking wide receiver.
Rico!
First down at the 38. Play action. Cousins, deep drop, has time. His pass, it's going to be caught, and it's going to be a touchdown. Vernon Davis. So the tight ends, huge weapons so far in this first half for Kirk Cousins and the Redskins. A 38-yard touchdown pass, and the Redskins extend their lead to 13-0.
Everything is a setup, Dick. Everything is a setup in this game. A way to slow down the pass rush is play action. And you have to have good ball skills. See, nice play fake right there by Cousins. Vernon Davis comes from the right side of the tight end all the way back around to the opposite side of the field, gets behind Anthony Barr. And there's a reason why Kirk Cousins can able to take that amount of time because of the play action, and they've only given up 11 sacks. So he can sit back there for 10 seconds, and nobody can cut everybody for 10 seconds.
Hopkins with the extra point, and now it's 14-0. So Vernon Davis with his second touchdown catch of the year. Last time against Cincinnati, 14 receptions by the tight ends for 192 yards. They're at it again.
Today's game is sponsored by the all-new 2017 Ford Super Duty. This is the next level. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry.
Well, the Viking defense had the Redskins starting from the 9-yard line, but that didn't stop Washington. They go 91 yards. Cousins perfect on the drive, 6 for 6. And Davis's 38-yard catch makes it 14-0. And now Cordarrelle Patterson hopes to get a ball he can bring back, and he does. Brings it out from 2 yards in the end zone. And Patterson gets it beyond the 20-yard line. Timeout. We'll be back here.
I really did.
Later today on CBS and Fox. Then tonight with Sunday Night Football on NBC. And tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN.
Here's how to coach play action on defense. If there's no movement by these guys downfield and their shoulders are turned to the sidelines, you're going to get the pass. It's nothing run. That run should never be honored. Then you can see that the Vikings defense, whether it's man or zone, is confused because it was dealer's choice between Reed or Davis.
Starting from the 23, and here is McKinnon.
Sean McVay. You know, he looks young enough to be Barron Trump's classmate. He's a young guy, but Sean McVay takes over the play calling, and he's an excellent play caller. And right now, he has that Viking defense reeling.
They're on a roll right now. There's no question about it. 13 yards by McKinnon. And McKinnon and Ronnie Hillman are both in the backfield for the Vikings on first down. And they swing it out to McKinnon, trying to juke his way for more yardage. And a penalty flag goes down. as 3 Redskins are involved on the play, led by Preston Smith, the first one. Pete Morelli, the referee, will explain.
So if you're a Vikings fan, you need an answer.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Number 21, offense. 15-yard penalty remains, first down.
Well, Tuesday night college basketball returns to FS1 with a Big Ten Big East showdown at the Gavitt tip-off games. Maryland takes on Georgetown in a Beltway showdown. Then Wisconsin faces Creighton. It all begins at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Tuesday on FS1. And Vikings continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
They're a team they're not built to come from behind, right? They haven't scored a touchdown in the first half the last 3 games. And they have the self-inflicted wounds with a holding, a dropped interception on the first touchdown, and now a face mask.
Here's Hillman for a couple of yards. We showed you Diggs going out to the right. They have not gone to Diggs yet, and he's another one of the playmakers, if not the best, that the Vikings have at wideout.
And the other thing, what's happening because of penalties, and coaches love to use this phrase, we hear it all the time, playing off schedule. I mean, you look at right there, Coach Shermer right there, I don't have a lot of calls for 2nd and 29. I don't have a lot of calls for 3rd and 15.
What about 2nd and 22?
Well, or that. He might have one for that.
And we'll go to Ronnie Hillman. And Hillman busts it out. Still need about 12 yards for first down yardage. Kurt Menefee with a game break. Kurt.
Well, Bryce Petty gets his first start for the Jets, and he gets his first touchdown pass in a weird way. The old hook and ladder winds up in a Bilal Powell score. They missed the extra point. They lead at 6-3 over the Rams in the second quarter. Dick, Chris, and Christina.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Right here, it's another 3rd and long for the Vikings.
51! Rocco! Hey, dribble.
Redskin fans looking for the stop right here. From the 33, Bradford has time and completes the pass, but it'll be well short of the first down. Stephon Diggs, and another flag goes down. Penalty marker down at midfield. Diggs making his first catch of the game, coming back home.
Illegal contact, number 51 defense. 5-yard penalty automatic, first down.
So Will Compton guilty of the foul, and first catch by Stephon Diggs, whose family is on hand today. Played at the University of Maryland, and this is his first reception.
Right here, because Kyle Rudolph ran a little out and up, and you see that Will Compton tried to jump the route and ended up hooking him, breathing new life into a Vikings offense.
First down at the 39. And a first down for Minnesota. Here is Hillman. Nothing doing. They haven't been able to run, and that's been the story all year. Well, it's been a streaky season for the Vikings. Hits came early on offense. Teddy Bridgewater lost for the season at the end of preseason. Adrian Peterson, long-term injury, yet they started 5-0. A dominant defense has been the key, allowing the fewest points in the league. And here is Bradford being chased again, and he gets it off but doesn't get a couple of yards. Red Ellison makes the catch. But as you know, the Vikings, who were 5-0, and everyone said the class, Mike Zimmer's team, class of the NFC, but 3 straight losses. Offensive line has lost both of their tackles, and as you know, Norv Turner resigned before the last game. So a lot of adversity that the Vikings have to fight through.
I think almost, Dick, that you could almost make an argument that the loss of the 2 starting offensive tackles was more devastating than losing Bridgewater and Peterson.
But we're seeing it, lack of protection and the lack of running game. You're right. 3rd down and 11. Matt Asiata in the game, going out as a receiver, downfield, and the pass is overthrown. Stephon Diggs. So the Minnesota Vikings, 5 minutes into the second quarter, no way are they in sync as of yet, and the Redskins will get the ball back, leading by 2 touchdowns.
You know, the offensive line held up right there. Now, the other part of that is that there has to be separation created by the Viking wide receivers against the Redskins defenders. And so far, 10 minutes into the second quarter, that has not been the case. The Redskins have been tight coverage on all the Vikings skill players.
They're pretty physical too. The Redskins, who had missed some tackles, making sure this time. Locke punting to Crowder. Fair caught at the 21. Vernon Davis, who's caught 3 passes for 66 yards, tries the jump shot, but they want him to catch passes for a touchdown, and he's done that too.
Can share a bucket for 2. KFC is finger licking good.
It'll be a first down at the 21 for the Redskins, leading by 2 touchdowns. Cousins running out of trouble, and the pass intended for Crowder is incomplete. Well, Deshaun Jackson is inactive today, shoulder problem. So one of the weapons for the Washington Redskins on the sideline, but they seem to make up for that, though.
Well, so far they are, and they're doing it by getting the ball and looking for tight ends. But when Deshaun Jackson's part of this offense, he takes it off the top of the defense, which even opens up all the underneath routes, because you have to honor Deshaun Jackson with his speed when he's in there.
Second down and 10. Cousins drills it incomplete. That was intended for Ryan Grant, and Harrison Smith all over him.
Yeah, we talk about confidence. This is a huge third down for the Vikings defense. Going back to the last series against the Lions last week when they lost in overtime, and to start this game, they're 0 for 7 on third down defense. So this is a huge possession for them, or a huge down, to try to get off the field on third downs.
Third down and 10, and here is Cousins, and he's going to go deep. Downfield, incomplete. Pass intended for Garcon. Rhodes was with him. And so for only the 9th time this season, the Redskins go 3 and out into a punting situation.
Well, I think he had in his mind where he was going right away. Xavier Rhodes got away with a little push right there and a grab. And why I say that, because over the middle he had Crowder wide open at the 12 yards mark past the first down marker. Just misread by Kirk Cousins.
Dress Way with his first punt. Stephon Diggs inside the 30, dropped, and a terrific play made by DeShazer Everett of the Redskins. 14-0, and so 9 times 3 and out. Pretty good record for the Redskins, who lead.
During the Ford year-end event, discover why Ford.
Touchdown pass for the Redskins today. Gave him an early lead, and then Vernon Davis on a 38-yard play.
Well, and he was open on that third down. We're going to try to show that to you in a second, and that's because I think Cousins made up his mind where he was going through the ball, throw the football off his pre-snap read.
Didn't look anywhere else, did he? Just went. Now it's Sam Bradford's turn. Nick Easton, an extra offensive lineman for the Vikings. Play action on first down. He's got some time, and he lost his pass, and it's tipped away. Intended for Kyle Rudolph by Mason Foster. Good play by Foster to get a hand on it.
And Foster got away with a hold, but this is what I'm talking about. And I only say this because Kirk Cousins rarely does this. Watch Crowder on his key third down. Terrence Newman is playing way off, and he's open right there at 12 yards. But Kirk already looked to Garcon and felt that's the place he wanted to go. I just think he made up his mind before the play was even snapped. And Foster got away with a grab on Rudolph on that play.
Second down and 10. Now Matt Asiata goes into the slot to the right. Empty backfield for Bradford. At the 32. Another pass to the left side. This one is going to be caught by Diggs. And Diggs will have a first down. Longest play from scrimmage so far for the Minnesota Vikings. And they'll have a first down on the Redskin 31. A pickup of 36 yards for Bradford.
Well, so the problem been the protection, right, for the Vikings. Guess what? The protection is good. And you see Diggs down there at the bottom of your screen. He sets him up with a little in and out.
And here's Asiata. And Asiata gets good yardage on first down, picks up 6 yards.
Watch a little double move right here. Inside and quick out. Right there. Inside and out. Got Fuller turned around. And talking about dropping it in the bucket. A beautifully thrown ball by Bradford. Not a bad idea right here for the Vikings to get a little bit of tempo going. They feel like they operate with more efficiency if they got a little tempo, or at least mix it in as they go through this drive.
And Bradford getting into rhythm a lot more. Second down and 4. And they're going to do a sweep to Adam Thielen, and he'll have the first down.
Well,
so a jet sweep, and Thielen gets the yardage, 11.
This is Pat Shermer, right? I mean, get the ball into the hands of your athletes in a timely manner so they can make something happen. And that's Pat right there, and he knows that he's not going to just blow up North Turner's offense. That's what this team knows, but you make little adjustments here and there to get the ball into the athlete's hands.
Diggs split wide to the right, and he's defended by Josh Norman. They haven't mentioned Norman's name. They haven't gone his way much. Here's play action. Here's Bradford, and he goes to the tight end Rudolph, and Kyle Rudolph is out of bounds at the 4-yard line. So the Minnesota Vikings, who have been dormant so far in this game, coming alive after holding the Redskins to 3 and out.
Watch the strength of Rudolph right here on Murphy. Look at Rudolph on Murphy right there. Now watch him throw him down. See, that's strength, which allows him to get open, and everybody's late then to coverage.
Number 62 is reporting as eligible.
That's strength, Dick. You got to be strong at that line of scrimmage, at the point of attack.
Boy, he was wide open. Now they have they put it on the 1. His first and goal at the 1. Got a bunch of offensive guys up front. Asiata trying to go low on this. No signal given, didn't make it. Just missed by a smidgen.
Right, they have problems on short yardage. Run the quarterback sneak. There's a bubble right there in the middle of the Redskins defensive line. Run the quarterback sneak. I'm going to show you the bubble when they come out. Now, last play there was a bubble. I'm going to see if there's a bubble this play. But that's where you run it to, the bubble, Dick. They lost yardage. There's your bubble right there.
They don't sneak. They go to Asiata again. And Asiata, no signal given there either. Dante Whitner came up from the secondary. Boy, it's really tough, and the Vikings really have struggled when they have been near the goal line to push it over lately.
Right here is this quarterback sneak. That's where you got to run it. That's got to be a check with him and go.
Takes too much time for the handoff. Yeah.
Well, you know, I wouldn't get crazy here if I were Minnesota. I'd call timeout. I'd call timeout, call my team over and say, we've been terrible on short yardage, and challenge them.
Use a timeout now. It's not important. It's the first half. You got to score here. Searles and Easton come in as extra offensive linemen, and they go to Asiata again. Touchdown. Third time is a charm, apparently, for the Vikings in goal line yardage, and Matt Asiata goes in for the touchdown. Believe it or not, it's the first touchdown in the first half for the Vikings since week 5 in Houston. It's been that long.
Well, first of all, better surge by the Minnesota offense. You see the pulling guard, Alex Boone, gets there, and there's nobody for him to hit. It's always a good sign if a pulling lineman has nobody to hit at the line of scrimmage. Chances are, Dick, you'll probably get it in the end zone.
Third touchdown for Asiata this year, and he came into the game leading the club in rushing. Tell you, you miss Adrian Peterson a little bit, don't you? Here's Blair Walsh with the extra point, and the kick is good. 8 plays, 67 yards, a 1-yard run, but the pass to Diggs, 36 yards, set it all up. Vikings are back in the game, and that's the scoring drive. And Diggs comes back home to make a big catch so far in the game. 36-yard reception. And the Minnesota Vikings back in. It'll be interesting to see. This is going to be a critical drive right here because the Redskins have dominated. Then Minnesota got them on 3 and out and scored.
That's a great point. I was just going to make that. Their defense set that up for their offense with the first 3 and out in the last 8 tries.
Rashad Ross on the return from the goal line runs into a stone wall at the 20. Well, tomorrow night, National Geographic invites you to go to Mars. Join humankind's greatest adventure and find out how we made Mars home. The new series, Mars, premieres tomorrow night only on National Geographic.
Is it true, Dick, that the NFL is looking at an expansion team in Mars?
They're going to play a couple of games over there in the regular season. And they're
London, Mars, and Mexico City.
And they're looking for teams that want to give up a home game to go to Mars, right?
As long as we can broadcast it.
Yeah, and they get a bye the next week, by the way. First down from the 20. Play action. No, a run. And it's a run by Robert Kelly. Kelly gets a first down and 14 yards as Daniil Hunter and Andrew Sindeo combined to make the tackle. So that's not what the Vikings wanted to see on first down after getting momentum, hopefully.
His teammates affectionately call him Fat Rob.
Hey, Mike, 52.
And there are reasons why. First down, 5:02 to go. Crowder goes in motion, and the handoff is to Kelly again. It's a strong run, and he gets 4 yards on the play. Let's send it down to Christina Fink.
Well, you guys have been talking about the Redskins getting this running game going. They've got to feed Fat Rob. He actually earned that nickname in college from his coach when he put on a few pounds and ate a lot in the offseason. He wears a backpack around the practice facility, and his teammates have had that nickname stick in the offseason.
Throwing it away is Cousins, and a flag is down. There is the backpack as the flag goes down. That's so Fat Rob, and he wears
Holding.
it now.
Number 76 offense. 10-yard penalty remains, second down.
Holding against Morgan Moses, the right tackle, who's a question mark coming in.
No, and with Fat Rob, you know, when Christina was telling me about that story, I thought it was PFAT. Like, yo, that's fat. And it's not. It's FAT fat. I thought it was, you know, fat.
You're too advanced for us, you know.
Christina knows what I'm talking about.
You know,
because you're a fat broadcaster.
Yes.
PFAT.
PF, that's right. Kelly, good numbers so far for him. Second down and 16. Inside handoff, Chris Thompson. And Thompson will still be about 10 yards shy of a first down as we send it to Carissa Thompson for a game break. Carissa.
Hello, Dick. Kansas City at Carolina. Panthers were up 3-0 when Cam Newton, all 6'5", 245 pounds of him, decides to take it in himself. The Panthers up 10-0. Dick, Chris, and Christina.
Hey, watch the Panthers. You knew they were going to make a move at some point, and they have plenty of time to do it, and they're going to be a factor, I think, in the playoff fight before it's all over. Third down and 10.
Lucky.
Thompson, third down back, of course, stays in there. Cousins gets away, getting some pressure, and on the run fires, incomplete. And the Redskins are yelling for a flag. And Cousins goes all the way up to the 35-yard line to say, what are you looking at? I've never seen a quarterback run that far upfield.
Well, Kirk Cousins talks about making plays when he's off schedule. That means when he hits his back foot, there's nobody open, use his feet. Now, Trey Waynes and Ryan Grant are going to get caught up, and I think it's incidental contact down there. And I'll see if Trey Waynes right there. It's a little grab right there, but you see that when you saw the feet slip from Grant, that was the occasion.
I agree with you. Fair catch called by Diggs, but I agree with you. You could make a case, and the crowd would have the interference call. Or Cousins animated over it, but I think the officials did the right thing. 14-7, Washington. Here are the standings, and Minnesota with a one-half game lead. Detroit idle today. Green Bay is getting beat 28-7 at Tennessee. So a win for Minnesota would solidify first place. A loss, they could be in a tie for first. Meanwhile, the Redskins could go into second if the Giants stumble against the Bengals tomorrow night. So it's a first down here for the Vikings. Bradford quickly completes to Diggs, and Diggs gets it out to the 30, a pickup of 5.
You know, the one thing I love about broadcasting, coaching, playing is passion. Look at the passion, arguing for the call. I do think the official, the field judge, made the proper call because Ryan Grant actually slipped when he tried to come out of his cut. But certainly, if you're a leader of this offense and a leader of this team, you're going to stick up for your guys.
Teammates have to love that. Second down and 5. And Bradford with another first down catch, and trying to hold on to the ball is Cordarrelle Patterson, and he does, trying to strip it away. I tell you, they're protecting Bradford much better today.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of running the routes and getting open, because the Redskins are a big zone team. And so when you recognize zones, every zone has a weakness. They find those holes, they sit in there, Dick, and they know Bradford sees what they see. That's why you have execution.
First down at the 39. Again, good protection, and he gets it out to Diggs. And Diggs with another first down into Redskin territory to about the 40-yard line.
Well, Diggs is giving Kendall Fuller all kind of problems right now. And so, again, we talk about the matchups, right? Everything's a matchup. So if Diggs, Bradford, Pat Shurmur, they see the matchup they like, they'll work Kendall Fuller all day until they stop it.
And the tempo, up-tempo continues. 11 for 14. And the pass is caught by Jarius Wright on a quick screen to the receiver, and they get close to yet another first down as the 2-minute warning arrives. It'll be 2nd and 1 from the 30 when we come back.
2-minute warning.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remain in this first half. Dick Stockton, Chris Spielman, Christina Pink. It'll be 2nd and 1 for the Vikings. And McKinnon not going to get there. It'll be 3rd down as Quinton Dunbar just puts up a big fence against McKinnon. Loss of 1.
Dick, go the down and distance. 2nd and 1. These guys are firing off the ball. Hit it up in there and get extra yards. See, there's no need. There's a hole to get the first down. There's no need to stop your feet and try to make a big play every down. The object is to get the first down.
So they have to pass on 3rd and 2. They do. They get the first down, and it's Diggs again. Stephon Diggs with a 10-yard play. And the Vikings, in the waning moments of this first half, trying to get even against the Redskins, who dominated the first quarter, took a 14-0 lead.
And exploiting the matchup, Diggs versus Fuller, right there.
First down from the 20. Bradford quickly gets it out. Another completion to Kyle Rudolph. And Rudolph goes down the sideline. No signal has been given yet. Josh Norman said, I think he went out of bounds at about the 4. And it is a touchdown.
Right here, watch Cordarrelle Patterson and what he commands. See this? He picks off Will Compton, doesn't bump into him, and you see Kyle Rudolph wide open because of the pickoff, or the corner did not come off. But there's nobody taking the flat, so there's a miscommunication or a mental mistake in the background.
They're going to review this because his right foot, Kyle Rudolph's right foot, may have been out of bounds.
And if that's a mental error if it did go out of bounds, because you have to be aware of where you are on the field. Can't tell from there. Still inbound.
It would have happened before. This is probably going to be the best view.
Let's see here. There's the left foot. Right foot.
The official is right behind him.
That's into me.
And there is the touchdown signal. So they gave it. It was a 20-yard play. If it's confirmed, and I don't see any evidence not to confirm it, and it is ruled a touchdown. So it's 14-13, and now Blair Walsh looking to tie the game, and he does. Blair Walsh with his 2nd conversion. 14-14 with under a minute to go. So halftime is coming up. And let's check in right now with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Chiefs try to make it 5 wins in a row as they take on Cam and the Carolina Panthers. The Texans look to stay atop the AFC South. We'll also preview that big Dallas and Pittsburgh contest. So make sure you come back and join me and the guys on the Visa halftime.
And that's coming up. Let's take a look at the scoring drive. And this game means so much to both teams. Both coming in with winning records, but both have not had successes. 7 plays, 75 yards. And Kyle Rudolph catching the 20-yard touchdown pass and tiptoeing into the end zone. Bradford was perfect, 6 for 6 on that drive. And it looks like the trademark of this team defense has really triggered this for him.
Yeah, well but the other thing what we're seeing, we mentioned in the first quarter, there was no separation being created by the Viking wide receivers against the Washington Redskins defenders for their perimeter. And right now they found a matchup to use, and that's Diggs on Fuller. And so when that starts occupying everybody else's time, that leaves time for Rudolph to sneak to the flat and become wide open.
So when we get to the second half, it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments that the Redskins make regarding Diggs. So here comes Cousins, who has completed 9 of 15 for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. But what was a impressive first half by the Redskins has fizzled for them and Jay Gruden's club, and right now a tie game. Well, Mike Zimmer wanted a fast start, didn't get that, but he got a fast second effort so far. From the 25, Chris Thompson. Good run by Thompson, and a lost ball, fumble, and it's recovered by the Vikings. First turnover of the game, and the Minnesota Vikings, who now are plus 13 in the turnover ratio. Everson Griffin made the recovery.
And watch Sendejo, number 34, come in, and Everson Griffin actually hustling from coming off of his pass rush mentality to get back in the action on a run. And right here you see number 90. Oh, excuse me, that's that's Everson Griffin coming all the way from his pass rush position, hustling downfield, and not only making the tackle, but being the second guy in, Dick, smart enough to go for the strip. That's well coached.
This is a team that has forced turnovers and making the most of it here, and a first down at the 33 of the Redskins, still with 3 timeouts remaining for Minnesota. And here's Bradford, and Bradford has Diggs. Diggs makes the catch. They have been unable to stop him, and they down him on the 5-yard line. Diggs is having a field day against the Redskins.
That's all set up. They faked the quick screen. Caught Kendall Fuller looking at the quick screen. Diggs taking off down the sidelines. Patience by Bradford and trusting the protection.
28-yard gain. And the handoff to Asiata. Asiata barreling toward the goal line and stopped. And the final seconds, the clock.
Here's the fake screen right here.
Stops at 10.
Guys getting caught peeking at the fake screen. Just enough. See that right there? Oh, do your job, not anybody else's job. He jumped that fake screen. Bradford sold it beautifully with his eyes. Then you saw Diggs take off to the vacated area where Fuller was supposed to be, and they took advantage of it.
5 brothers and sisters, very loyal family. His father passed away in 2008. Stephon Diggs said he was my best friend, my first coach. His mom, Stephanie, who works as a track attendant for Amtrak, Superwoman he calls her, and he comes back home and has a sensational first half. Meanwhile, it'll be 2nd and goal, extra offensive lineman.
A little play action into Rudolph here, maybe.
10 seconds to go, 2 timeouts left, play action. Bradford looking, and no chance to get it to Zach Line, thrown over his head. It brings up 3rd down.
He was trying to go to Red Ellison on a tight end delay, but Red Ellison got tripped up. You saw Bradford look back to his left. Watch this. Watch number 85, Red Ellison. He's going to try to sneak across. Bradford will look for him, but because Red Ellison gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage, there's no Red Ellison, so the veteran makes a crafty, wily play, throwing it away and allowing another opportunity to run a play. They're going with their nickel-type offense now, Dick. That's wide receivers and skill. That's why they ran the play action. They put all those big people in there, but that didn't fool Dick Stockton.
What happens here? 3rd and goal from the 3. And now,
timeout
called by the Vikings. They have one left.
Here's what happens. It's got to be a quick throw, right? You got to throw the fade. You throw the fade, it's a jump ball, or you throw it away. The one thing you do not want to do, you better make sure now that Bradford throws it pretty quick, because that clock's at 5 seconds. And so they're playing a little bit here. They're gambling a little bit, but they trust that Bradford understands clock management, understands the ball has to get out of his hands quickly. It can't be that high in the air, because every second counts. It might be a back shoulder fake.
Now, you're the Redskins, and you know that.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows it.
So how do the Redskins play?
They play man defense, and you got to win your one-on-one battles. It's all matchups. That's the beautiful thing about the NFL, man. It's like watching the NBA. My guy's better than your guy, and your guy's going to win here, and my guy's going to win there. And whoever wins most guys at the end of the game wins.
See who wins here. Adam Thielen at the top of your picture comes in motion. 3rd and goal, and they go to Thielen, and Thielen will score. Tight formation with the exception of sure-handed Adam Thielen.
So if you don't exchange responsibilities on man coverage, you're vulnerable to the pick. And that's exactly what happened to the Washington defense. Watch here. Now Thielen's going to come back out, and they're going to be picked off, which allows Thielen a free run back to the line of scrimmage. Right there. See, Josh Norman's coming all the way from the other side of the field, and he can't get there because of the motion. That was all set up by the motion, allowing Josh Norman to get caught in between players and Blair Walsh.
And Blair Walsh misses the extra point. So Blair Walsh, who has missed 7 kicks this year, including 4 extra points, now 5 conversions. And that dulls the great Viking comeback here in the second quarter. So Blair Walsh, the problems continue for him, but for Adam Thielen, well-executed play.
That was because Josh Norman got caught up in the traffic, and that was all set up by Pat Shurmur.
And the score is 20-14. That's the end of the half. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime report. Today's excitement is brought to you by the new Nissan Titan.
Second half of the season, playoff push. It's time to get it. Ooh wee!
That was today's excitement, brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. 20-14. Vikings coming from behind to take the lead. It's been a tale of 2 quarters so far in this game as the Redskins get the ball to start the 3rd quarter. Blair Walsh will be kicking off. Rashad Ross is deep, and it's a short kick, and it's Chris Thompson on the return. Thompson still going, and gets out past the 30-yard line. So a tale of 2 quarters. Redskins scored touchdowns first 2 possessions. Vikings TDs the last 3, but Blair Walsh misses an extra point. The lead is only 6.
Well, first of all, with the Blair Walsh thing, as a Viking coaching staff, you got to plan on that he's going to miss kicks, because that's the facts. That's what we know. So you game plan accordingly and move forward accordingly. The Redskins are a very good offense. They caused the Vikings problems. Now, who made the proper adjustments at halftime after each series to get back on track? The Redskins offense and the Redskins defense.
First down from the 33.
Shovel 55.
Robert Kelly. And a flag, false start called against Washington.
False start, number 75 offense. 5-yard penalty.
Let's check in with Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, the Vikings scoring 20 unanswered and having a field day from Stephon Diggs, 104 yards. But Mike Zimmer said he wants to see a little more run after the catch. He also said their tempo has kept the Redskins off balance and busy. Now, as for the Redskins, Jay Gruden said that we only had 4 drives. Obviously, the 3 and out and the turnover hurt him. Vernon Davis having a good day, but expect to see a little more Jordan Reed. And also, he said can't miss coverages against this Vikings defense.
Thank you, Christina. Reed with only 1 catch, but it was good for 25 yards. And here is Cousins. And his pass is going to be caught for the first down by Reed. So how prophetic was that? 16 yards, and near midfield are the Redskins.
And Reed's coming out of the game now. The problem is, if you're Vikings, you replace them with Vernon Davis, who's just as threat as Reed is in the middle of the field and downfield.
66 yards on 3 catches and the TD.
Hey, we're going 55. What's up?
First down, Kelly, and no chance. Kelly is knocked back for a loss of a couple, thanks to Shamar Stephen.
Beautiful job of penetration right here by Stephen, number 93. He's on the outside shoulder of that guard. Right there, he hits slants inside. No help from the guard. The center is not in position to cut him off, which allows Stephen to run free to make the play. The guard's got to push that big number 93 Stephen into that center to give him a chance to block him. He did not do that, allowed the free run to the running back.
Brings up 2nd and 11. Cousins quickly drills it, first down into Minnesota territory. Pierre Garçon very quietly gets the job done. He's like the safety valve, isn't he, for Cousins?
Well, I think that each quarterback has a comfort level guy to go to. And Pierre Garçon's been doing it a long time and is a tough guy catching that slant across the middle. But if you give number 8 time, I mean, he won't miss. He's probably one of the more accurate throwers in the NFL. In fact, Coach Gruden agreed with that assessment.
14-yard gain on that play. Here's Kelly trying to pick his spots and picks up 2 yards. Knocked back, but forward progress. Should be a 2-yard gain. Everson Griffin was the defender on the play. Redskins have outrushed the Vikings 64-37. So that hasn't been a big feature for either team, obviously.
Tough. Hey, Abby. Hey, yo.
2nd down and 8.
Ringo tough. Ringo tough. Hey, Pluto.
Here comes the pressure. The blitz picked up well, and the pass is going to be caught inside the 30. Another first down. Garçon again. And Tom Johnson putting pressure on. They blitzed as well. Good pickup by Washington.
Yeah, there's a reason why I say he's one of the most accurate passers in the National Football League. And what separates guys, good job by Fat Rob Kelly to pick up the blitz. But see that tight window? I mean, that ball is a fastball right in between Xavier Rhodes, away from his outstretched arms. And that's why Kirk Cousins is a threat, and this offense is always a threat because of his arm.
13 yards there. 4 catches for Garçon. Play action. And they go underneath. And they complete it to Maurice Harris. And time for a game break. Let's check in with Carissa Thompson.
We're going to head to Tampa Bay, Chicago. 5 seconds left. They had an ugly first half, but this is how the first half ends. Jay Cutler airs it out, and Cameron Meredith, the old girl, actually comes down with it. They still trail as they headed into halftime, 10-17. Dick, Chris, and Christina.
Thank you, Carissa. Tampa Bay trying to stay relevant in the NFC South.
57. 57.
Now 2nd down. And 5. Kelly gets tripped up. They still need about 3 or 4 more yards thanks to Harrison Smith with the undercut.
So when you're nickel and you have smaller people on your defense in your lineup, what do you have to do? You have to bring 8 people up in the box. Watch Harrison Smith come right in here and shows it late, but this is an excellent fill by Harrison Smith. No delay, and he's hitting that hole on the run. That's how they counter teams exploiting them with their nickel defense, by putting him as an extra linebacker.
Tackling has been crisp today for both teams. 3rd down and 4.
Ringo.
4-man rush. And the pass caught for the first down. Crowder out of bounds. Jamison Crowder. So many ways to go for the Redskins, even with Deshaun Jackson out of action today. A pickup of 12 yards. And a meticulous drive here by Washington.
So route running and quickness on Crowder. They do this to create space and confusion, any type of man coverage. Right there, Terrence Newman does a good job of picking it up. Classic mistake by Terrence Newman, looking back at the quarterback. As soon as he looks back, Crowder's able to create separation.
Now 1st and goal at the 10. Zone read, and they faked a handoff, and it ends up to be a short pass and nothing going as Barr finds out Robert Kelly in a hurry.
Dick, you know who's been doing a nice job, and you pointed it out in the open or when we were early on in the ball game, is Ty Nsekhe. He's replacing Trent Williams, who's a great player, and Nsekhe has certainly held his own at the very least.
Well, he's 31, second year with Washington, 11 years in the league, and he's a guy who played in the Canadian League and Arena League. Little guy, 6'8", 335. Second and goal. Going to the end zone. And incomplete, intended for Garcon, and covered well by Rhodes. Rhodes did a good job against him.
This is a problem area for the Redskins and something they focused on during the bye week, getting touchdowns when they do get to the red zone. And Jordan Reed is a big factor down here. That's got to be antennas up for the Viking defense and find and identify number 86.
Coming in, the Redskins had the third worst red zone offense in the National Football League.
There's Jordan.
Third down and goal from the 12 now. Good pressure, forcing Cousins to move, and the pass incomplete. Garcon, the intended receiver, and covered by Trey Waynes. And that will bring up fourth down. So the Vikings clamp down nicely, and that will force the Redskins to attempt a field goal.
Nice job, and it's easier to cover guys in the red zone. You know why? Because you have that back line. That's your 12th defender, so you can play a little bit tighter, so it's more difficult for receivers to create separation down the field.
I was going to say less room, but you came in as the analyst pretty fast. I like that.
12th defender back there, up in Canada.
30-yard try by Dustin Hopkins. First field goal attempt of the season, and Hopkins' kick is good. So the Redskins get 3 and trail by 3. Could have been 4 if Blair Walsh had made that extra point.
So can I redeem my rapid reward?
Sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by State Farm, here to help life go right.
Field goal by Dustin Hopkins ends a string of 20 unanswered points by the Vikings. And Cordero Patterson looking for a ball he can return.
Believe me, the Redskins know what a threat Patterson is, returning kicks.
Not this time. And the Vikings will take it out at the 25. We're in the capital area. And a tight game between two teams who really need it.
This is for everyone. Are you ready?
Star, special premiere December 14th.
Scoring drive that resulted in a field goal, bringing the Redskins to within 3. And now the Vikings have a first down on the 25. Sam Bradford's numbers have been glittering thus far. He'll go to Asiata on first down, picking his way for about 4 yards. Well, in honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $1,000 to its military nonprofit partners, including the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute.
Those are the guys that did the flyover today. Just those guys are amazing to me. They really are. And now they're texting and playing Candy Crush.
Spectacular. Direct snap to McKinnon, and he hands it off to Asiata.
Zach Klein.
Check it. Zach Klein, the tight end, for a couple of yards.
That's a rare carry.
Yeah.
Really good blocker. Hands out of the backfield. But nice drive by Washington. I mean, they never panic. They trust their offense. Now, this is where Washington needs to make a stand. We talk about a confidence problem with the Vikings with their offense. I think there's a little bit of confidence problem right now with this Redskin defense. So what do? You make a play. You execute under pressure.
The other side of the ball are the strengths of the teams, not this side. Both these teams have problems. Third down and 1. Asiata driving forward and knocked back may have the first down. Let's see what the signal is. It's going to be close. Redskins bench are fists high saying 4th down, and it may be.
They have a tough time picking up 1 yard. I mean, that's got to be an emphasis in practice. The problem is nobody hits in practice anymore, so it's tough to get physical.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Beautiful job by Ziggy Hood, the nose guard, in a 3-4 defense. And nose guard is the most difficult position to play as far as being physical, getting double teams. The only thing you have to do is fight, fight, fight.
All right. It'll be 4th down and inches for the Vikings on their own 34.5. And no chance. Redskins wouldn't budge, and they're going to punt it away.
Delay of game.
And in the huddle, Dick,
penalty remains 4th
that's the
down.
first thing as a play caller, at least when I was in the huddle. Any type of 4th and 1 situation where it seemed abnormal, alert, alert, alert. Alert the hard cadence, and that's communication and discipline by that Redskin defense with a big 3 and out.
Worth the gamble to do that on going to the line on 4th and inches. So then a delay of the game, and then a punting situation. So Jamison Crowder goes back deep. Remember, he came in leading the league in punt returns. They mark off the 5 yards for the delay, and Jeff Locke will boot it. 6:15 to go in the 3rd. Good hang time. Crowder. The kick coverage has been exemplary for both teams. So the Redskins defense does the job. They pass that test. Now Cousins comes on to see if he can get some more points.
Shop.com.
Today's game is sponsored by Verizon. Join the Better Network because better matters.
Here we go. He's traveling. Yes.
We're back, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Redskins at the 31, and the handoff is to Robert Kelly, and Kelly, with his best run of the day, gets a 1st down up to the 45-yard line. So Robert Kelly, who gained 87 yards and a touchdown 2 weeks ago in London against the Bengals, right here.
So the one thing you look at in a young running back is patience and vision. Watch Fat Rob Kelly set it up right here. Beautiful job of the Redskins offensive line sustaining blocks. Linville Joseph gets blown out, creating that vacuum, and R. Kelly jets through the hole.
Matt Jones, by the way, a healthy scratch for the Redskins. Here's Kelly again, spinning his way to midfield and beyond, getting into Viking territory. Well, here's what's at stake today. For the Vikings, who had a half a game lead over the Lions, they can make it a game lead if they win, because Detroit is idle. Green Bay is losing 35-16. So the Vikings with a win would open up a 2-game lead in the loss column against the Pack. Meanwhile, the Giants play tomorrow, Dallas later. Washington wants to go to 5-3-1 in a very, very tight NFC East. 2nd and 5.
Hey, double.
Keep it on the ground, and this time Thompson going outside. Good second effort by Thompson, and he's close to a 1st down, maybe 1 yard shy, as he's at the 45, it appears, of the Vikings, picking up 3.
So if you're the Vikings and you're on defense, you want to know whether it's run or pass. Take a look at his head. His head is looking where he's blocking. When his head and eyes are pointed here, it's pass. When his heads are inside or straight ahead, it's run. So you can help your defensive line by giving a rabbit call. That means it's on the ground. Then if you think it's pass with his eyes outside, then you give the bird call. That means it's pass, and your defensive line gets in pass rush.
Quick pass, and it's caught. It'll be a 1st down for the Redskins as Robert Kelly out of the backfield tackled. No, check that. That was Thompson. Tackled by Anthony Barr. You do more with the eyes of players, which is so critical than I've ever seen.
Well, especially because of offensive tackles, because they're in such a difficult position. And the key is everybody on third down knows their eyes are going to look out. It's on the first and second downs with the one-back sets. That's when you start reading their eyes out of any tackle.
Ryan Grant split to the top of your picture, and they give it to Robert Kelly for a couple of yards. Small screen, stadium-sized content. Watch live local Sunday games on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. Seeing a lot more ball control here in the third quarter from both teams.
Yeah, and I think Sean McVay's got a rhythm. Now, he's going up against the master play caller in Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer's not only the head coach, Mike Zimmer's the defensive coordinator. And Coach Zimmer will tell you that he has not had his best games during this losing streak.
Second down and 8.
Listen.
Pressure coming in on Cousins. His pass downfield, had to get rid of it in a hurry. Crowder was the intended receiver. Tom Johnson again putting good pressure on. That's the second time he has done that.
See, his eyes are looking outside, Dick, right away. That'll tell you the pressure by the Vikings, and are able to win this one-on-one matchup and you see the pressure from 92 Tom Johnson. But the matchup that they did, Dick, to understand that, what they did was they put Xavier Rhodes on Crowder, their best cover guy, on the most shifty receiver.
That's Morgan Moses, the right tackle. He's had some injury problems, down right now. He'll have a timeout.
Disputed.
You know, when corners get hurt, you attack them. When offensive tackles get hurt, you attack them. Vincent Painter, number 60, did a good job.
Completion and out of bounds. Maurice Harris, who had not caught a pass in his rookie year here. Former Cal, undrafted rookie, has caught 3 today. Here's Morgan Moses, who had to come out of the game. This is going to be an up-tempo, hurry-up situation. 8th play of the drive. And a first down at the 25-yard line. Here is Kelly. Takes a few to bring him down. Short gain, though.
And I love the fact of up-tempo. What that does is slow down the pass rush. The other thing it does, it gives Kirk Cousins a pre-snap read. The other thing it does is it dictates to what type of front in coverage a defense wants to play, and it allows them to control the defense by your alignment. So you're testing whether this team is mentally prepared in the purple helmets to handle the up-tempo. But those are the reasons why you go up-tempo, and with the bonus of getting your quarterback in rhythm if he's out of rhythm, which Kirk Cousins is not out of rhythm.
Now Ryan Grant is at the top once again, and the handoff is to Kelly, and Kelly picks up a couple, bringing up third down. Linval Joseph is in there making the tackle. It's 20-17, the Minnesota Vikings, who have lost 3 in a row, trying to break a 3-game losing streak as Morgan Moses comes back into the game at right tackle.
Got that black tape. See that extra black tape on there? Got some extra black tape on there to shore that ankle up. He's a tough guy. We'll see how he moves. If he can get out of his stance.
3rd and 4. Under a minute to go in the third. This is a big down right here. Cousins goes, and a great defensive play by Terrence Newman. And Newman forces the Redskins to try a field goal.
You want to play, Dick? Be able to do this. The diminutive Chris Thompson picking up Trad Greenway, allowing a throwing lane to Kirk Cousins, but the crafty veteran, I don't know, 37, 38, whatever Terrence is, he's ageless, makes a great play.
Diminutive, man. You using diminutive, you're deep into your vocabulary.
Well, you told me to use that today, so I take advice from my crafty veteran.
37-yard field goal try by Hopkins. And that one would have been good for 50, I think. Hopkins with the field goal, and the Redskins have come back to tie the game at 20. Wow. All right, tomorrow night, National Geographic invites you to go to Mars. Join humankind's greatest adventure and find out how we made Mars home. The new series Mars premieres tomorrow night only on National Geographic.
A lot of people think I belong on Mars.
Don't ask me.
You don't know? You got to think about that?
I'll give you an answer in the fourth quarter. We're only 38 seconds away, so we'll be here before you know it.
Great job by the Redskins controlling the third quarter.
And the Redskins kick it out of the end zone, and so the Vikings will start from the 25.
So how do you control Diggs? By doing that, not letting them play, keeping them off the field. And that's what Washington needs to do, because their defense was struggling. So the offense, the best part of this team right now at this point in the season, has taken control of the second half. But they're settling for field goals and not touchdowns.
Bradford, by the way, 16 of 20 for 202 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Kyle Rudolph goes in motion, play action, pressure on him, and Rudolph on the catch. Just short of a first down, and that could be the last play of the first quarter. And Diggs, who we talked about of the third quarter, Diggs with 5 catches, 102 yards, has been stalled at that number because of the time of possession.
Isn't it interesting? I bet you if we would count it up, that both teams, probably a combination of 8 times, started with bootleg to start each drive throughout this whole game. Copycats.
Ronnie Hillman in the backfield. Time will run out, and that will be the end of the third quarter with the score: the Vikings 20 and the Redskins 20. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. The game, the Redskins 2 touchdowns, first 2 possessions. Vikings 3 TDs, last 3 possessions of the half, missed an extra point. Third quarter, a pair of Hopkins field goals, and that's why we have the tie. It'll be 2nd down and 1, and here is Asiata spinning his way, and he'll have it. It'll be a Minnesota first down.
It's never easy for them to get 1 yard.
Wherever it is.
Yeah. Before the game, I tweeted out that this game's going to come down to kickers, and it's either going to be Crosby or Walsh that will win this game. Just keep that in mind.
Hopkins will win.
Yeah.
Swing pass to Asiata, and a good tackle made by Josh Norman. First tackle he's been involved with today.
And that's good news if you're a corner. You don't want to be involved in tackles. You don't want people to call your name unless you're making interceptions. He's a good player. He's worth the money. And I'm a firm believer in this league, you pay corners.
He's physical, and it's cost him with a lot of penalties. 5 flagged last time. Fake to Asiata. And here's Bradford going underneath to Kyle Rudolph. He's been a busy guy today, and he's close to a first down. So Josh Norman was flagged for 5 penalties in the game in London. He's been fined a bunch of times, but you know, I think we were impressed with him. He says, you know, I believe that if I can mess up an opponent's head by getting in the first shot, it's going to be a big advantage to me. Asiata stuffed on 3rd and 1. You're so right. The Vikings really struggle on the short yardage plays, whether it's goal line or midfield.
Because their offensive line is too high, coming off the ball in short yardage situations. Tremendous penetration by the Redskins front 7.
Will Compton, among others.
And Zim just showed his frustration as eyes went right to him after he was stopped, and he kind of threw his fist around, and he should be. And if I were evaluating the film, Dick, everybody's too high. Low man wins all the time.
Jeff Locke will be kicking, and Jamison Crowder inside the 8. Fair caught there. So Locke again does his job, but I remember when the Redskins went 91 yards to score. Will Compton, 3rd and inches. No chance. Redskins defense actually playing well.
Today's game is sponsored by Zales. Celebrate your lasting love with gifts from Zales, the Diamond Store. And by Pfizer, Prevnar 13.
Starting from the 8-yard line of the Redskins early here in the fourth quarter. Here's Robert Kelly with a head of speed. Robert Kelly breaks a tackle and gets the Redskins out of trouble near the 30-yard line. 21 yards for Kelly. Beautiful run.
So the difference between the Redskins offensive line right here and the Vikings offensive line is watch these guys will get them past the blue line. You see the push right there past the blue line, overrun, poor gap integrity by the Viking defense, and Robert Kelly shows his vision and explosion and burst through the hole.
And Xavier Rhodes shaken up, being helped off the field a little bit on his own power and now trotting a bit. So Rhodes is hurt. Remember, the Redskins in the second quarter went 91 yards in 9 plays for a touchdown to make it 14-0 at the time before the Vikings came back. Terrence Newman has replaced him.
And Mackenzie Alexander,
Correct.
number 20, because Captain Munnerlin's down. So Mackenzie Alexander, the rookie out of Clemson. So always be alert if you're a defense. If you're Mackenzie, they might be coming my way.
Rookie from Clemson, second pick. 1st and 10.
There it is.
Play action. And the pass is going to be caught by Garcon. And they did exactly that. Alexander, who went in when Munnerlin was hurt last week, got a holding call and then allowed a touchdown, and here he is now.
Well, again, I mean, right, we alert it. The Redskins, if I know it, the Redskins know it. And what he did wrong there, in my opinion, you cannot give up the inside because there's too much room to work. He opened the gate and allowed him to work inside easily.
17 yards, and the Redskins, who started on the 8, are now at their own 46. Play action. Another completion to the 40-yard line of Minnesota to Jamison Crowder.
So, you know what Kirk Cousins like? Is when Michael Jordan in the playoffs or whatever, any three-point shooter in the playoffs, you know, they get that rhythm, they get in the zone, they get streaky, and they feel it. And I'll tell you when he feels it. When that back foot plants and that ball's being delivered right now, he's feeling it, and he needs to give credit to these guys who've only given up 11 sacks all year.
And that includes Nseki, who is playing in place of Trent Williams. Done a good job today. Here's Kelly. Kelly with a drive, picking up a couple of yards. Anthony Barr stands him up. Kirk Cousins in his 5th year. And, you know, really, when you consider it, he really gives the Redskins a chance to win nearly every game that he plays. I mean, he's,
as long as he protects the ball, because physically he has every tool in the book, including athletic ability.
Now Chris Thompson is in the backfield. 2nd down and 8. In rhythm. Completes it to Thompson. Thompson close to the 1st down. About a yard and a half shy. Trey Waynes made the play there.
So let me tell you what's going through coordinators, what's going through Sean McVay's mind, what's going through Zimmer's mind. You see Xavier Rhodes being helped off. Here's the thing. It's third and 2. So Sean McVay knows that Zimmer has to play man. So as a defense, you have a run pass that is prepared to defeat man coverage. Now, if you're playing man with your Vikings, you have to blitz.
3rd and 2. And the pass not even close to Garcon, incomplete.
Well, that's a poor technique by Garcon because his shoulders are back. If you're trying to make a stop route and come back, your shoulders must remain over your toes. If you get your shoulders back, what happens is you fall down.
50-yard field goal try coming up for Dustin Hopkins, who has accounted for all the scoring in the second half with 2 field goals, trying to break the tie and give the Redskins the lead again. 50-yard attempt. That's his longest this year. And here is Hopkins' kick. And the kick is good. And the Redskins, who were once up 14-0, have regained the lead 23-20.
My friends think
Cordero Patterson is back deep. The Redskins lead 23-20 now. So 3 field goals by Dustin Hopkins. has brought the Redskins from a 6-point deficit to a 3-point lead. That matches his longest of the year, 50 yards. So the onus on the Viking offense again. And Patterson is going to run it out. Gets hit. Good coverage. Good idea to run it out. You get a better chance. And it was Kendall Fuller, the rookie from Virginia Tech. Your Grateful Nation is a nonprofit corporation dedicated to the support of U.S. combat veterans and their families during and after their transition from the military to civilian life. The organization's initial focus is to serve exclusively the special operations community and associated personnel who has faced combat and high-risk missions. And today, we are wearing pins to show our support for the cause.
All right, you got to get, if you're Pat Shermer and Mike Zimmer, you have to get Diggs back involved. Right, he was the spark for your offense. There he is. Josh Norman, one-on-one on Diggs.
They haven't done anything offensively in the second half. Looking the other way, and the pass is caught by McKinnon, the running back, for a short gain. For a game break, here's Carissa Thompson.
Well, we head to Philadelphia. Atlanta was down 9-13. Matt Ryan airing this one out to Taylor Gabriel, 76 yards. Wide open. Matt Ryan leads the NFL with touchdown passes. Atlanta's up 15-13. Dick, Chris, and Christina.
Thank you. Vikings average 2.7 a rush coming into this game. They're averaging 2.3 in this one.
It's a non-factor. Call your defenses according to their ability to run the ball.
2nd and 7. Thielen in traffic, gets out of traffic. Very alert play. Adam Thielen. Blackman gets him, but not before. A 12-yard gain and a first down to the 26. Thielen, who scored a touchdown and a pair of brilliant catches against Detroit a week ago. Valuable guy.
And here he is. And here they go up tempo, Dick, to get some rhythm for Sam Bradford. Nice adjustment by Shermer.
Caught and unable to get away is Cordarrelle Patterson, thanks to Will Compton. But they get 4 yards out of it.
Redskins are doing a good job on those little stop routes in zones of eliminating rack yards.
Hand off to McKinnon. Nothing there. When you say rack yards,
run after catch. Thank you, sir. Or we can go yards after. We can go yak
or rack. Either way. You got a choice there. Now it's 3rd down and 5.
Now you have Breland, number 26, matched up against Diggs.
That's the top of your picture.
Tells me it might be zone coverage. It is.
Bradford, Diggs, he'll get the first down. And Breland a little upset with that one, as they really, against the zone, they got it into the low seam, and he scored, got the touchdown,
so you can play
the first down.
So you play zone matchup in that situation because the safeties are going to back off right here. Here's their matchup. Now watch him get depth right here. See, he's getting a little bit too much depth. You see the safety coming back, and Diggs with his acceleration out of his cut to be able to catch and get the first down.
Ronnie Hillman now is the tailback on 1st and 10 at the 37. Bradford has Diggs again, just short of the first down. Fuller on the coverage. Diggs now with 7 catches for 117 yards today.
Nobody will ever question number 8's toughness. Watch him stand in the pocket, and they're working on TJ Clemens at the right tackles. Trent Murphy, I believe, comes around and makes the shot, but that's the toughness of Sam Bradford. That's what he brings to this table.
And he's had more than his share of injuries, obviously, in his career. 2nd down and 1.
Tough matchup right there.
Bradford had some time, and incomplete. Patterson, and a flag goes down, and maybe a late hit.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 73 offense.
It's on Cullen Jenkins.
Penalty, automatic first down.
And Bradford was looking for a similar call on that previous play when Murphy came in on him. He got it here. And a very big penalty called against the Redskins, allowing the Vikings to move it to Washington territory.
Good pressure inside, working on Fusco in the power rush. Yeah, it's the hands to the head, hands to the face. You got to stay off the helmet. And right there, you can see that he tried to avoid it, but his big tricep caught Bradford in the face mask.
Cut and dried there. Fake to McKinnon, again deep, and tipped away. Diggs was the intended receiver, and it was Kendall Fuller who got a piece of it. So the rookie from Virginia Tech in a critical spot, playing well in the secondary down the stretch.
That's why our corners have short memories. Kendall Fuller, beautiful job of closing on a receiver. When you go to the combine or general managers watch corners on film, the #1 attribute that they look for, closing speed. And Kendall Fuller, who had a rough first half, responded to the challenge beautifully that time.
Second down and 10.
51, Lion! Set! 120! 120 hot!
Bradford, and it's tipped and intercepted. Picked off by Preston Smith. So Preston Smith, who has the only sack in the game, now has an interception. And that snuffs out the Viking threat here.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Citizen Echo Drive watches, powered by Light.
And we're back here where the turnover, the interception by Bradford, only his second interception this year. Redskins with a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. And the handoff to Kelly for 2.
Oh, it's a tremendous job right here.
Preston Smith.
Preston Smith. And this is a 3-4 linebacker. See him now, it's not a great drop, but it's a smart drop because it's a 3-step drop. So he knows that ball on a 3-step drop has to be delivered between 5 and 7 yards to get in a throwing lane. He got in a throwing lane, caused a helmet throw by Sam Bradford, and was able to make a terrific athletic play, snagging the interception. Smart drop.
Second down and 6 at the 38 for the Redskins. Winding down to 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter on the rollout. The pass, it's going to be caught. Diving for the first down is Crowder, and he has it. Jamison Crowder.
Now here's the thing, Dick. As a defender, you have to understand. This goes for the Vikings, it goes for the Redskins and 30 other teams. If that quarterback's a quick throw, that ball's going to be delivered between 5 and 7 yards on a 3-step drop. A 5-step drop, it's 10 to 15 yards. Anything deeper than that, it's a 17-yard route. So you learn how to play routes based off the quarterback's depth and when he throws the football.
You don't go too deep if they're going to throw it quick. Hand off to Robert Kelly off the left side. And Kelly gets inside the 30 to about the 27. Well into field goal range right now are the Redskins. 4-yard pickup there. And Kelly is helped up.
He runs hard, doesn't he? I mean, those are hard-earned 94 yards.
Flirting with 100 yards for the game. Carried 21 times last week. He never carried that many times when he was at Tulane. Undrafted rookie from the Green Wave, making his first 2 career starts last week and this week. It'll be second down and 6. Or last game, I should say. Rolling out. Now the target, it's Garcon, Pierre Garcon, here the 10-yard line. And a gain of 15. The Redskins trying to capitalize on the turnover.
So it's all about setting everything up off the play action. Because Kelly has had success running the football, Kirk Cousins is able to do this. Now, Garcon has a free release off of Mackenzie Alexander. There's no pressure, no help, no anything. And it's too easy for an NFL wide receiver if you do not pressure him or get in his face to run straight across the field. And Kirk Cousins will not miss that open guy.
1st and 10 at the 12 now for the Redskins. Here's Robert Kelly finding his way to about the 10-yard line before Everson Griffin stops him. Gain of 2. And a timeout is called by the Vikings. They have 2 left, trailing by 3. will return just a moment. Redskins are threatening. The Vikings have called their first time out of the second half. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 10-yard line. Crowder comes back into the game.
So the Redskins are going to either attack Mackenzie Alexander or look for Jordan Reed. That's the way I would play it.
There's Alexander, who had to come in when Rhodes went out. They get it to Kelly for a couple.
Now
the clock stopped and the Vikings, I should say the Redskins, call the timeout. Okay.
I want to tell you what went into that play right there. Okay. The Redskins wanted to see if they split Jordan Reed out, who was going to guard them. And they saw that Mackenzie Alexander. Now that could have been a setup. In this crucial 3rd down, Jordan Reed has a size advantage on Mackenzie Alexander. Right there. So let's see if they come out in that same formation. They may or they may not, but that's just something that you're thinking about as a defensive coordinator / offensive coordinator. Remember, it's about the matchups.
And this is a huge play right now because the Vikings are down to 1 timeout remaining. 3rd down and 6. Here's Cousins, gets hit and goes down at the 10. A big play to Neil Hunter, number 99. Finished the job, but first it was Everson Griffin with the pressure and a 2-yard loss, and the first sack by the Vikings couldn't come at a better time.
There's Hunter. We see Everson rushing off the inside 3 technique. That's a personnel. We talk about matchups on the inside. Here's the matchups on the outside. Jordan Reed well covered, as you see Sendejo helping out Mackenzie Alexander with a double bracket coverage. That means 2 guys on 1 guy outside, 1 guy inside. But I just want to know, we talk about matchups, we always think it's receivers and corners, Dick. You put a great pass rusher like Griffin inside on an offensive guard, that's a mismatch, and that's why you have to double him. So it's all recognition. That was well played by Coach Zimmer.
So now the Vikings use their 3rd and final timeout, and now Dustin Hopkins will attempt the field goal, 28 yards. Looking to open up a 6-point lead. And the kick is good. So all of the points, 4 field goals by Hopkins here in the second half. Coming up next, America's Game of the Week, the Cowboys and the Steelers. Boy, they're longtime rivals. Dak Prescott, the sensational rookie, along with Ezekiel Elliott. Who's going to be Rookie of the Year? Lead the 7-1 Cowboys, and how about these guys?
Well, the Redskins got a good offensive line. That's the best offensive line. You want to know why Ezekiel Elliott's a tremendous back, tough, everything you want. But Ezekiel Elliott, because of that offensive line, those 5 guys right there, nobody sustains or pushes the line more than that Cowboy offensive line. Zeke Elliott, I bet you if we did a breakdown, does not get touched until he's 3 or 4 yards down the field. That's a great offensive line that plays together like fingers in a glove.
The name of the game to most teams. Bradford getting set to go to work. Cordarrelle Patterson ready to hopefully return the kick. And with 2:31 to go and out of timeouts, the Minnesota Vikings need a touchdown here and a conversion, which is not a foregone conclusion.
No, it's not. And look at 2:31 left. They got a lot of time compared with the Detroit Lions had last week with 23 seconds.
And it'll begin from the 25. And Patterson, I didn't know if he thought it was going to be that short, because he immediately signaled that he was going to let it go and start at the 25.
Now, what's the question here if you're the Redskins? Do you play man, do you play tough, or do you sit back and play a little bit of prevent? And I know everybody in the world hates this, but I'm saying play prevent, keep the ball in front of you, and don't panic if they move the ball downfield.
That was their problem against Detroit, and a lot of people criticized Joe Barry because he wasn't aggressive enough.
We'll see what they do.
1st and 10 from the 25. No timeouts, as we said. Bradford goes underneath to Diggs, who gets to the 31, gain of 6 yards.
So that's why you play prevent, because there's no timeouts. keep the ball in front of you and try to tackle them in the field of play.
And they have to hurry it up, no question about that, as we get close to the 2-minute warning. 2nd down and 4. Bradford again going underneath to the same guy, Diggs, and he's got the first down. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. Keep in mind that in the second half, the Redskins defense have limited the Vikings to 61 total yards. That's been their story.
Now get 3 large pancakes for only 89 cents, only at Burger King.
There's Joe Barry, who has to dial up the defenses for the Redskins. All he has to do is keep the Vikings out of the end zone. 6-point lead, 2 minutes remaining.
You want to keep everything in front. Look how deep those safeties are.
Bradford has gone short twice, being attacked from behind, and his pass is caught. Diggs has caught the last 3 passes thrown by Bradford, and this will be a first down, getting 14.
Remember, this is where the Vikings are most vulnerable, is at that offensive tackle position. T.J. Clemens has a little trouble with protection, number 68.
Vikings haven't won in 5 weeks. The Redskins haven't won in 4 weeks. It's been that long. Bradford going underneath to Diggs, and Diggs picking up 8 yards.
This is something that's worked on multiple times throughout the week in practice, both offensively and defensively. 2-minute and 1-minute drill.
Going again to Diggs, and Diggs going out of bounds after the catch. We'll have another first down. Talk about meticulous drives so far for the Vikings. This is one. It'll be a first down on the Redskin 34 after the 9-yard pickup.
It's easy to move the ball from the 20 to the 20. That's when it gets difficult, because you pick up the 12th defender, the end line of the end zone, when you get inside the 20.
Big question, do you play prevent or do you become aggressive? That's the issue. 1st and 10. Looks like they got pressure on, but they complete to Thielen, and Thielen gets about 7 yards. Will Blackman on the tackle to prevent further damage.
And you keep the clock running. Just keep the ball in front of you, and you got to make the play.
No timeouts left for the Vikings. And Bradford going to McKinnon, and incomplete. Ball hitting the ground. So McKinnon unable to make a tough catch there, and the clock stops with 1:04 remaining. We'll have bonus coverage coming up after this game is over. The Eagles is now leading the Falcons 21-15 in the 4th quarter. This is the 8th play of the drive. Third down and about 3. Bradford, and that'll be a first down, going to Diggs once more.
Yeah, and why do you fall down? He caught the ball and fell down. Catch the ball, turn and run. You make it too easy, and that clock keeps running. It'd still be running. You'd have more yardage.
12 catches, 100, or make it 13 receptions. 164 for Diggs. This is a long pass, incomplete. It was intended for the tight end Kyle Rudolph. Overthrown.
Nice job by Dante Whitner, knowing that he had safety help, was able to play tight coverage on Kyle Rudolph.
Whitner, a good pickup, signed October 5th, former Cleveland Brown, among others. So now 2nd and 10 with 40 seconds remaining. Ball is on the 21 of the Redskins. Vikings need a touchdown. Nothing less will do. On this drive alone, Diggs has 6 catches. And the Redskins will call their first timeout.
Washington, first team timeout, 30-second timeout.
And you know, the interesting thing, and you've talked about it, and that is when you get in the red zone, that's one thing. When you get really close to the goal line, it really limits the things you can do because of the space.
Yeah, and then you get out of your prevent, then you go aggressive, and you start blitzing and forcing the quarterback to make a quick throw. And how that's advantageous towards your defense, Dick, is they don't have to cover as long. people that want to play tight press man-to-man in this type of situation, if a guy falls, it's a touchdown, and you're behind. So I think Joe Barry's played this perfectly so far. And we knew that it's easy. We see it every Sunday, right? The ball moves from the 20 to 20 every situation. Now you tighten up and play. Now the best athletes are going to win.
But it hasn't been totally a prevent defense. They put some pressure on.
Well, they're four-man pressure, but the coverage has been prevent.
2nd down and 10. Bradford, down he goes.
That's what you don't want to do. You got to throw the ball in the dirt. You don't take a sack in that situation.
Trent Murphy.
Time. Yeah.
Trent Murphy. 6 sacks. That's his 7th sack of the season. 3rd down and 17. They've got 2 downs to get it done. Flag is down. Let's see if there is a hold there. Let's see. Pass is incomplete.
Yeah, there is a hold.
And a Viking is shaken up.
Holding. Number 68. Offense.
Jake Long, the left tackle, is hurt. TJ Clemmings, the right tackle, called for holding. And we'll take a timeout.
Correction. Penalty will be declined.
This is for everyone. Are you ready?
Well, the Vikings, who have already lost tackles Matt Khalil and Andre Smith, and now Jake Long will be put on the card. Team really decimated with the loss of 3 tackles at this point.
And Jake Long was signed during the bye week and was starting to find his rhythm and get improved. And you see it right there. It looks like his left leg buckles and he goes to grab his calf. And you don't ever want to speculate, but he does have a history of knee problems. He's a tough guy. He's getting better.
And of course the penalty, by the way, was declined, so it'll be 4th down and very long coming up for the Vikings, their last ditch try. 4th down and 17. No timeouts left. Pickings kind of slim here, and Bradford and the offense know it's touchdown or bust right here. 11 seconds remaining.
If I'm an offensive lineman or a tackle for the Vikings, that man right there, Kerrigan's who I'll be concerned with. TJ Clemmings, who's battled today, has had some issues in pass protection.
Standing on the 5-yard line are 5 defensive backs for the Redskins. Here it is, 4th down, and Bradford goes down. And that'll be it. And it was Preston Smith who has an interception and 2 sacks today to lead the Redskin defense. We knew about their offense, but the defense came up huge in the 2nd half, Chris, and seals the victory here with this sack.
Tremendous job by this defense in the 2nd half. Joe Barry deserves a lot of credit, and their offense deserves a lot of credit for keeping the ball away from the Vikings for most of the 2nd half. Preston Smith beat Searles, who came in for Jake Long. Right there, we talked about it earlier when the Redskins brought Painter in for Moses. The Vikings bring Searles in for Long, and he's cold. And Preston Smith, who had a big interception, comes up with another big play to end the game for the Redskins.
Redskins had lost to Detroit. They tied Cincinnati 2 weeks ago in London. Come back with a win. Remember, they were 6-2 in the 2nd half of last year, and sitting a lot prettier now than they were a few weeks ago, as the Redskins will win the game by a score of 26-20 for the Vikings. Their 4th straight loss, and the first time under Mike Zimmer that the Vikings have lost 4 in a row. For Chris Spielman, Christina Pink, Dick Stockton, so long. Let's go to the State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menem.